Welcome to the weekly football presser with head football coach Dr. Alvin Parker. Coach, you had a big win this past week, 42-20 over Elizabeth City State. How about giving us your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was a well played game, mostly throughout. We had a few plays that I was not satisfied with, but overall, I thought it was a well played game. I thought the guys had a lot of fun on Saturday, and it was the beginning of divisional play, so it marked like a different portion of the season. So, I was glad the way those guys came out and played. They played hard, they played physical. And again, we made a lot of plays on both sides of the ball, so that's always good to see.
I'm glad to ask everybody, can you hear Coach okay? Okay. All right, we're going to see if we can open up the floor to questions.
Hey, Coach, it's Ryan. I'll be the announcer this weekend. I want to just talk about the past game. Seems like the team relied a lot on big plays. Of course, it worked great when you score over 40 points a game, but would you rather have maybe the offense be more methodical, work the clock more, or is it, you get the win and you're good with it?
That's kind of tough to say, Ron, because I think we at this point we still lead the league in like time of possession. So
Sure.
I think we are holding the ball, allowing our defense to kind of get a little bit more rest. But everybody's likes to play. I think explosive play is the difference in football games a lot of times. I think you take explosive plays, turnovers, and things like that, field position, and we kind of put all those in. That kind of determines the winner a lot of the time. So, I definitely like explosive plays, but when it's time to kind of hold the ball and do those, you got to be capable of doing that also. So, I want to make sure that they do good enough when it's times that we have to hold the ball and keep it away from another team's offense. We're good enough to do that as well.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the questions I had, something I kind of noticed over the last couple games is teams have been able to move the ball through the air. If we look at what happened with Elizabeth City, the quarterback had over 300 yards passing. Is that, maybe a sacrifice that you kind of have on defense, trying to control the run at the expense of the pass, or just teams are able to exploit something in your secondary?
I think it's just people are taking more opportunities because I think they can't run the ball on us. I think our run defense is playing so well that people are going to a pass first, kind of model, which giving them more chances over there on the passing side, so. But in terms of things like 4 interceptions and I think maybe like 4 sacks and things like that, people try to go pass first on it. I think it's more of a mentality because people can't run the ball on us. I think we gave about 10 rushing yards for the past week. Last week we were in the negative, the week before we were in the 20s, so I think people just can't run the ball on us. So, and I'm just happy with the way the defense is playing, period. A lot of times, rather than the pass or the run, but I think the biggest set is probably just scoring. Those guys, are doing a pretty good job in terms of the numbers of scoring defense as well. So, so I'm proud of those guys, but it has been more passing yards than previous times. But I think it's because people just can't run balls.
And then another question. So we kind of saw the emergence of Ricky Key have a big game with two touchdowns and some pretty long receptions. Talk a little bit about him because that's somebody we hadn't really seen on the stat sheet like that very much.
Yeah, Ricky's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. So he's been playing big for us. He's a grassroots guy for us. We got him out of high school. He just waited his turn. So he's one of those guys that I'm definitely happy to see have some success. Again, like I said, he waited his turn and he's getting it. He's making the most of it. He had 3 big catches that were, extremely explosive plays on Saturday that changed the course. I think he opened something the first touchdown. On the game. And big time play, you know, and you got us a big time third down, and you got another touchdown. So within the last 2 weeks, he made a bunch of plays. I'd say 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks is something that, you know, you definitely have to pay attention to.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it.
No questions for Coach. Okay.
Coach, how nice is it to be back home after like over a month? It seems like at least about a month away from Richmond. How's it feel to be back at home and kind of get back into that old routine of not having to travel and being able to play at your home place?
It definitely changed the schedule a little bit, you know, so, and you guys said you need to address a few more guys, you know, that normally don't travel with you, we have such a large team, so I'm happy this is gonna happen, you know, getting playing in front of all fans don't have to get in the car and drive like they had to do, 5 of the first 6 weeks to see us play, and, you know, so hopefully that, you know, if the weather stays good and you know, everybody want to come out, they're able to come out, you know, so I think our guys are playing at home, you know, but, you know, we've shown that we have the ability to take this thing on the road and win some games. So, you know, I think it's kind of, at this point in the season, these guys are just looking forward to playing, you know, but, you know, from my standpoint, you know, sleeping in your own bed on a Friday night and kind of, you know, going through your routine at home, you know, it makes a little bit of a difference, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, each kind of, you know, looking at it week by week, how they come, we're gonna take it.
Coach, can you give us comment on Jordan Hines, offensive back of the week?
Not a lot of you know, he was back, and I think he was close to his old self, you know, they were getting the ball about maybe 25 times or so, you know, he got better as the game went along, and put up some great numbers, you know, the numbers that everybody kind of used to see him put up, you know, but like I said, everyone's been doing wonders for us the last few weeks, so, him and Curtis Allen, all those guys back there, you know, they're making a lot of good plays. You know, Jay was able to do some great things on Saturday with again pretty much his first full game back, you know, so I was happy to see that.
Are there any more questions for Coach?
Coach, anything about your opponents this weekend that really stands out in terms of their style of play, something that you're really focusing on to try to take away?
They're a good team. I think that they're still, you know, one of the top teams in the league. You know, they play physical, they play tough. You know, Coach Jackson, you know, does a good job with those guys. I don't want anybody to judge them over their last 2 weeks, but you know, I think from this point on, you know, the rest of the season, every game is going to be tough. You know, those guys, you know, feel like they still got a whole lot to play for, and they want to come out and show everybody. You know, so you know, we got to be ready for the challenge. You know, we counted back maybe like 4 to 5 years. Those guys still, you know, won 3 championships. So they still have a lot of guys on the team that won those championship teams, and they still got a pedigree of the champions. So, you know, we got to come out there and make sure we play our best, because I know, you know, the State's going to play their best.
And Coach, you mentioned, I think in the first answer, that their team played very well this past week. There are a few aspects that you wanted to see a little bit more of an improvement from, you weren't quite satisfied with. What were those notes, and what do you want to see from that this weekend?
You know, I want to make sure we complete the game without any turnovers. You know, I think, you know, we've been going in the right direction, you know, penalty wise, in terms of getting better with that. You know, so, you know, those are things, I think turnovers and penalties are some things that you want to make sure you see. You know, of course, you want to get better on third down defense, third down offense, you know, and make sure that so you can keep the ball and stop people from keeping the ball. So those are areas you want to make sure you're getting better at. But I think we are, you know, we're on the upward trajectory when you talk about, you know, the beginning of the season to now. You know, I see a lot of improvement in a lot of areas, but, you know, it's still room for improvement in some other areas. So, you know, I think that's why we play the games. So, you know, they give us something to coach every week. So, you know, we're just going to keep coaching them.
Any questions for Coach? Okay. All right, Coach, looking for you this weekend. So, Play for 11 podcast. So it's 7 o'clock. We'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, appreciate all you guys from.
Thanks, Coach.